Morning guys, welcome back to another video. We're going to continue building the 1916 Sopwith Camel. Looking fantastic. Framed up, getting framed up. And here's how I went about it. Alright guys, if you're just catching up from last video, we've got the leading edge all on. Looking really good. Really happy with that. We've got the wingtips on. When I say the wingtips, this sort of half an ice cream cone shape, which will help with the fabric later on. Got our ailerons working, both sides, all connected. Come in, I did sneak in during the week, or during the weekend, and I put a couple of stays just on the corner, so the wing, I split the wing here, nothing went twang too much. I've got an 1/8 inch gap or so there, gusseted, and I put a stay, if you like, just a single spar across for the covering. I didn't want the covering to pull, well, potentially pull the wing out of square. I also moved, you can probably see there, I moved, it's a bit of a botched job, but I straightened up my ribs as best I could. If you remember back in other videos, I moved the front, I widened the front to give me that good gap, and now I did the same at the back. Just got the better of me. When I cut it, they actually compressed together. So it was telling me the ribs were under tension, and on the other side, I did the same. On the other wing, I'll just rivet this morning, take this apart, clean it all up, deburr, you know the drill. It's still got a slight curve in it. I'm not too worried about that. Like I've said, we're going to put a flashing of some description, like a bandage strap over this. There'll be another one at the root of the bottom wing. Just took the tension off. Means this hole here is a bit botched. Guess that's one of the issues having a YouTube. All my little oopses go on YouTube and you guys know all about them, but that's just how it is. Finish this off in here. I did the swirl pattern, one because the metal I used was all scratched on that side, and two, gives a good gluing surface for the glue, obviously. I'll fix this up. Needs a bit of a file. Or a tap the edge around. Once again, can do a lot of this stuff on the bench. I just want to move on, and we'll pick this bad boy up today, I think. But really happy how it's turned out. So now I'm going to rivet those. What I mean by those, the gussets, and all I did was at the front, I'm going to upsize those. I just flattened that out and bent the tube into the spar, just to, you know, give me some support. I'll get that riveted on, pull the undercarriage out, have a look at it. All right, another delivery. Got my clevis pins for the, these will be the undercarriage turnbuckles. They go between the legs, 4 of them. Now the reason I had to order bigger ones, I think it's only 1/8 inch cable between the undercarriage legs, which is on my board there somewhere. I think it's, let's have a look. Yeah, 2,100 pound. Now these are 46s, so they're 4,600 pound force. If I've got some bigger cable, I may use that. Now the reason I did have to, the reason I had to order these, you follow the plans, you know, you want to do it properly. You know, it says, I don't know, 5/16 hole one end and a 3/16 hole the other, which made them then the hole too big for a standard size, or the turnbuckles that I had, you know, 3/16 one. Also, they don't reach, you know, you have to chop all this off, which is fine. I could have done that. However, I'd already drilled it. And because it's on the undercarriage, I didn't want like a 3/16 pin in a 5/16 hole. So that's why I ordered the bigger ones. I'll clean a bit of paint out. But that will, it's on the undercarriage, you know, it's going to cop a flogging. So that's the way I went. Just cost a bit more. All right, got the crane in, raising it up 1 inch at a time, literally. Just enough to get the crane underneath. I think I'm going to go get some bolts and bolt the engine mount on so I can lift this guy up. That might be the plan, I think, so I might duck off. It's one of those jobs. I've got to be a bit careful. If I go too far and lift this thing up, I sort of can't go home. So I might just get it ready for tomorrow. It's 1 o'clock now. I knock off at 3. I think I'll just play around how I'm going to harness it and go and get some engine mount bolts, and we'll come back tomorrow and lift it up. Alright guys, I've been in last night, got some bolts. I'm going to put the engine mount on, we'll lift it up. Bit nervous about this, but it shouldn't be an issue really, just lift it up. Worried about the tail wheel pirouetting or the tail going wherever it wants. And we'll get the undercarriage on, that's the plan. Got my engine mount down here. And I just posted my aeroplanes engine mount. That's up for sale, guys. If you're interested, $500 US below cost. 3 bits of Rio, 1 inch tube with 2 welds. So I've got a few bits I ordered in from off Amazon. Got some nylon washers, and I got some screws, like self-tappers I was hoping to use for the picture frame panels that we did. These things are absolutely tiny, like the biggest ones are just ridiculous. So good old Amazon sort of did me over a bit. Probably read the description a bit better. I sort of pictured a box this big, 20 bucks each or something. Anyway, move on. So just greasing up my bolts, bit of grease, nothing goes in dry. Get these brackets pre-positioned. They'll get torqued up later. Everything will go on loose, loosey-goosey. Just once I get it up, I try and make things easy for myself. These things are orientation specific. So like the spreader bars or the cricket stumps, I'll leave the axle out for now. They can go in later, we'll just get in the way. Basically once I get it up, pop the 4 bolts in, through bolts through these things that were all bent and mashed. Then I can run some wires and hopefully it's all still square. See how that turns out. Alright, got it halfway up. A little bit nervous, we'll keep going up. Alright guys, I got the gear sort of temporary on. We're a bit precarious at the moment. I boarded up the root just to stop it rocking. Now I think I'll just tighten everything up. I'll run some cables and then we can put it down on the ground, I believe. So all the bolts are in, sort of loosely. And just looking at it, I don't think I can get the crane out. Anyway, across that bridge, it's going to sit on the crane if you have a look. Across that bridge when we get to it, might have to put the wheels on. All right, undercarriage on. Sitting pretty good. That's about, can barely reach the wing. 8 feet up, I guess. Put the wheels on with no suspension. Now I'm going to need longer bolts through the axle here, or for the axle to go on. Not long enough because I spread those out to give me clearance at the ends. Having marked everything and painted everything, most things went back together fairly well. Got my cables on, have to chop the tails off, lock wire the turnbuckles. But that's looking fantastic. Torqued everything up, 50 to 75 for the AN4s, 20 to 25 I think from memory for the AN3s, torqued it all up. And the only thing holding the wheels on at the moment is the turnbuckle, the multi-grips. So in this state, that's basically with collapsed suspension. If I'm going to wrap this with a bungee. Plan is now I'm going to pull the wheel off, drop it down onto the carpet, squares, so it doesn't move around, and I'll probably have to lift the tail up just to make those footings nice and square. Probably take the axle back off to prevent me from walking into it, to be completely honest. But that looks pretty good. Engine mount is on purely to lift the aircraft. I put anti-seize in these bolts, 3/8 UNC, about 2.5 inches long. I want to check my engagement in here. But wow, have I built a nice set of monkey bars now. Really glad I can't even reach that. The hanger floor's rolled away a bit. Glad I did the top wing. She's a big girl to get into the cockpit. I'm 6 foot and the cockpit's basically 6 foot high. So it'll probably actually go a little bit higher when I fix up the suspension. Just wait for a visitor. Next person to walk in the hangar is going to be pretty impressed. Up on her wheels. Looking really cool. Didn't have too many issues doing all that. It seemed to go pretty well. It's just it's starting to look big. Good height now, about 4 foot off the floor. Oh no, 3 foot to work on the bottom wing with the aileron, the ribs and everything. Just give you guys a look at it. How cool is this? Yay, caramba. Big set of monkey bars. Alright guys, as the wind comes in, I might wrap that up there. Good spot to stop with the undercarriage done. We're going to move on, something different. I'll cut the floor out. Sorry about the noise, it's blowing a gale. I'll cut the floor out, stain it, waterproof it, rudder pedals, rudder, those slide plates, rudder cables, tail wheel cables. Got the seat ready to go there. Might put might build a pillow for the seat. We'll mount the seat. Maybe look at the panels on the side. Yeah, just do a bit of fun stuff. Because then it's back to obviously the wing with the ribs. Put the ribs on, same as what I did on the top wing. Basically copy all that. Once I've done things to note on the bottom wing, I'll drop a plumb bob, which is basically in line with this. Probably not a plumb bob in case this isn't vertical, but I'll just make my push rod parallel with this, keep them streamlined, and that'll determine where the rib goes on the bottom. The rest sort of just go wherever. Well, I think I had 15 or 16 inch spacing to my ailerons. Make the aileron will be the same size. The root rib, if we spoke about the root rib before, I sort of need to get the fuselage structure built so I know what's going on here. Because at the moment I haven't got much of an idea. I think the rib will sort of be determined for the position by this shackle here, which I still need to wrap up. Probably don't need the forward tape on there anymore. Too late now. But lucky it's facing the right way. What else? I'm not sure on the undercarriage while I'm looking at it. Just the one bolt in here with the undercarriage. Is that going to take the loads? Don't know. We'll find out. I did the cross bracing. I'll finish that off tomorrow first thing. Wrap my black tape around all these. Got to do this guy as well. Trim off the tails, black tape
torque them up. Probably won't lock wire them just yet, because they'll probably come off for covering purposes or whatever. As soon as I lock wire it or finish it, think it's finished, they'll have to come off again. Also while I'm talking about it, the main axle, which I put in here. The red tape was just to stop the bolt coming out while I set it down on its wheels so I could wheel it backwards, get the crane out. And these bolts aren't long enough. So I might get a steel rod and just tap each end for a nut. Or better still, just drill a hole through it and put a split pin there, each end. That might be even easier. So stand by on that. Tension on these, I just went tight. They're about 60 or 70 pounds to be completely honest. It's funny, the tensiometer that I've got, you think 20 or 30 pounds, but that's next to nothing. So they're nice and tight. Anyway guys, there you go. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next video.